Hi guys, today I'm going to do a quick overview of how to build out a proper RFP to build a new website. One of the things I see is a lot of people come in and they just have a core set of requirements. You know, we need a new website, we have these types of products, here's our budget, here's our timeline. Well, that's great and all, that's not the responsible way to really go about this. So I'm going to help you today to give you some ideas on how to come prepared to that so that way you can make the best decision for your business. As you know, there's plenty of platforms out there. Our next video is going to be selecting that platform, mapping your needs to the platform. Again, a lot of our clients will come on in and say, hey, we want to be on BigCommerce. Here's our requirements. Well, why BigCommerce? Did you talk to them and they said this was the best one? Did you go to Magento and they said the same thing? That's typically what's going to happen. Maybe you read a lot of reviews. However, let's get to the nitty-gritty and find out what's really operating your business. What do you need to run your business? How do you want to grow your business? So let's dive on in. So let's start with your revenue. Knowing your revenue is going to be a key part, as you would probably imagine. How does your yearly revenue affect your monthly costs for this platform, hosting costs, third parties, upkeep, etc. So just having a clear understanding of what your yearly revenue is and how much you can really spend on it is going to be key. Do you have are you primarily B2B or B2C? A lot of clients kind of come and say, well, we're B2C, but we do have some wholesale customers. Well, great, but those are two different experiences. What unique functionality do you have for your wholesalers? Do they have a special portal that they log into? Do they have special pricing? I would only imagine that you'd want to offer that. And you don't want your B2C people to say, well, if you buy 5 of the same shirts, you get this discount. They're not looking for 5 shirts. They just want the one. Do you offer them unique payment options? Do a B2C person might have, you might offer PayPal, credit card, Amazon, where a B2B, you might have a PO set up for them or net 30 terms. So having that experience and understanding what goes into that is going to be key. What marketplaces are you looking to be on? Are you just solely your own website? Or are you expanding, trying to get some brand awareness, looking at some other marketplaces? Amazon is blowing up right now. Google Shopping's been around for quite a while. There's some other marketplaces that are emerging to be, a player with the Amazons, like a Jet, a Walmart, etc. Then there's eBay. Knowing where you want to be, and if you don't know, that's okay. We're not saying you have to be on these, but just knowing what you need. I'm going to consult you guys on the rest of this to say, here's what you can do. If it's not a part of your core business today, let's maybe look at getting in some of these and how that affects your brand, your business growth over the next, 6 months, 1 year, etc. Not something you need today, but something that if it fits, we'll make that recommendation for you. User experience and design. I tell every single client that I've worked with over the past 7-8 years that building the website, redesigning it, putting it on a new platform, that's the smallest part of the project. However, financially, it's typically the largest part, but you need to change that way of thinking. Stop spending 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, on building out a website that you think you're trying to perfect. That's not where you need to spend your money. I always tell people, spend 60% of your budget on the initial build. Just get the proof of concept up there. Does it connect to everything that you need to? Do you need to have it a custom development where it's a unique custom build, unique user experience? Do you want to use a template? This is all going to depend on your budget, your goals, etc., which I'll help you walk you through. But just kind of think through the long-term plan here. The build is the initial thing that you want to do, and then after that, focus on optimizing it. Day one that you launch that site, begin the optimization. Driving traffic, conversion rate, seeing what users are doing. So this research is a key part of it. Understanding your users. Let's take a women's clothing store, for example. You likely understand that your number one demographic is a female. Maybe they're 25 to 40 years old. Average income is $60,000 to $80,000. They typically spend $100 on a piece of clothing. They buy 2 to 3 products per order. They come back every 3 to 4 months. So that's probably your leading demographic. But what about the other ones? What about the people that are well aware of the brand, but they just can't afford that? However, they're going to come and mop the floor with on the sale items. That's all they come to look for. attract them to that. Kind of tease them with why they should get in there. Give them a reason to be there, and try to capture them as users and get them to, spend more on their products. Then there's the spouses. What about the husband or the boyfriend that's looking to buy a gift, knowing that that's a brand that they like? Make sure you're connecting with them as well. Then there's all kinds of stuff like a heuristic analysis. That is actually one of the things that I think a lot of my clients should do before they even assign a contract. Have a company do a heuristic analysis and say, hey, tell me what I should be doing, what I should not be doing. And then that way you can kind of get an idea and say, okay, well, I agree with all of this. Our budget is still this. That way you at least know where their head's at, what recommendations they might make. Most companies, they'll charge for it, which is fine. But this is something I can do in a matter of an hour, 2 hours to just go through and say you're following best practices or you're not. Competitive analysis. Same thing here. Take a look at your competitors. This might be something as you do a bit more research, you find that they're doing really well, they're not doing well, etc. But this is something that you might want to figure out. Do you want to go through these exercises, or do you just want to slap a new design on and get it launched? Site architecture. Come prepared with your categories. Are you changing your categories? Are you keeping your categories? What stuff goes in a footer? What goes in a header? If you know that, great. Otherwise, come prepared to say, hey, we need help on this. Wireframes. This is the skeleton, or really the framework of the site. Take away if you take Amazon and stripped away all the colors, all the fonts, all that stuff, we're looking at the skeleton there. So, hey, there's a search box that's going to go here. This is where the categories are going to go. This is a product. Product price is going to go here. Product description. That's a wireframe. What we want to understand is, what does that user flow look like? So this is a great exercise to go through. If there's budget for it, I would say absolutely include it. If there's not, this can be skipped, but it's not something that should be overlooked. We should be looking at how is that user going to come to this site? What are they going to interact with on that page? From there, we're going to take a look at the designing side of it. Do you need branding? Do you need, what is the voice and tone you're trying to set? Is it a fun website? Is it a upscale? What are you trying to convey to that user through your design, your artwork, your fonts, etc.? Do you need email templates? Do you need profile pictures for your social media accounts? All those things, kind of just understand what your needs are, where you want to get support. In my future videos, I'll have some more information on the best way to handle that as well. But understand your UX and design needs. All of this is ideal, but can your budget sustain it? We're not sure, but something I want to talk to you guys about to see what can be done in there, because they all are extremely important. What features do you need? What types of products do you have? Is it just, you buy a fork. It's a silver spork. You get one of them. That's it. Or is it a fork that comes in different sizes, different lengths, different colors? Understanding your products and making sure that the team or whoever you're working with knows what types of products and customizations. Is it a group product? Is it a basket that's pre-built? Just knowing that is crucial. Content management. What do you need to manage on a website? Do you want to manage every piece of content that's on that site, or are there certain parts that you're saying, hey, we just want to manage the banners, product data, etc.? Know what you want to be able to control. Cart checkout. What goes into your taxes, your shipping? Knowing all of those different elements of it is going to be crucial as well. Customer experience. This kind of goes back to B2B, B2C, and the different experiences that each of those types of users have. But what do you have for them? Loyalty programs? Do they have ability to return some kind of RMA on the site? Do they have a live chat? What types of features might you need there? Order management. Think of the back of the house now. An order is submitted online. Where does that order go? Do you have any unique requirements? That gets passed off or emailed to someone else? How do you log a shipping or tracking number? Think through that as well and make sure you're prepared to talk through that. Global and multi-stores. This is probably going to be key to selecting, one of the key elements of selecting a platform. Do you have several different stores that you're trying to relaunch here? Do you have different, let's say, languages you're offering? Maybe you have a Spanish, if you're in the US, you have a Spanish version, a French version for Canada. Do you have different stores throughout the world, different domains? So like domain.fr, .ca, .uk, like all those things, like understanding like the complexity or what is needed is going to help you on this as well. Analytics and reporting. This is one often gets missed. We all have Google Analytics, but there are so many other tools out there that can take Google Analytics a step further. What do you need to report on? Promo codes, all those kind of things, just knowing what you want to report on, what you want to see reports on. Anything can be really customized. Just know what you want so we can help fulfill that. Personalization. How custom do you want this site to be? Do you want to start from scratch? It's a complete custom build. You're going to need to spend a little bit more money. Are you looking for a template? You can find a template for under $100. Have a designer pop some design to it. A developer pieces it together. Your budget's going to be very, very low. What are you looking to accomplish? And then architecture and security. Do you want a hosted solution that you just don't have access, or no one has access to the database, the files to manipulate? Or are you looking for something that's a little bit more open source, that there's a lot more options, a lot more of a community? All have their pros and cons, but just have an idea of what you're looking for there. Now the third-party integrations. This is where it becomes complex as you start to tie into some of these platforms. Do you have a CRM, ERP? Do you have a accounting software, QuickBooks or something that you want to tie into? An order management process, inventory warehouses, marketplaces, email marketing, whether it's you're using Bronto or MailChimp, payment processes. Is it PayPal? Is it Authorize.net? Just make sure you know what you want as a base. I have recommendations that I would say, hey, have 2, 3, 4 different payment options. Always allow them credit card. However, more and more people are wanting to have Amazon. They can log in with it. Boom, settings are there. Don't have to worry about anything else. Same with PayPal. So offer them. Vendor feeds. Do you need to send an order file to a warehouse or a third-party vendor to fulfill that order? You're drop shipping maybe. Just make sure you have all that information handy. What's your budget? Again, spend maybe 60% of that budget on the actual rebuild. Don't build a site and then say, well, we don't have any more budget, nothing we can do, because you're not going to be successful. Don't max your budget out. Plan to optimize the store once the site is launched. So once that happens, that's when the real work starts. You have your base, you create your own platform, now grow that platform. Does money need to be spent in bringing traffic? Maybe you have traffic, you need to convert that traffic. Maybe you need them to engage more, build a community. Maybe you just now need to get very tactical and optimize your different markets. You're going to focus on your LA market, New York market, Florida market. Figure out what it is that you are trying to optimize. And these are all things that I will absolutely help you with, where you don't have to spend an arm and a leg, just more so at advisory standpoint. So just do what you need to do to grow your site. Drive traffic to it. I've had so many people have come to me and said, hey, I built a site and they didn't make me any money. Oh, you're a startup. Well, maybe you should have thought about how to drive traffic to the site or create a brand awareness before you built the site. Because you create a website doesn't mean you're instantly going to have traffic and sales. If that was the case, that's all I would have done. It takes time, it takes work. So just making sure you have your plan. What is it that you need to do to grow your site? Know your goals. Why are you looking to rebuild? So take a look at some of your metrics. It's not converting very well. It's outdated. It's on an old platform. We can't customize it. We spend a lot of time, trying to manage orders and customer service. Just know why that is. Relay that to me. Tell me why those are. And I'll say, hey, okay, great. This is how you can improve on that. What percent of growth are you looking for in the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? I've had clients who have come and said, well, we're doing about $200,000 today. We want to do $2 million by the end of the year. Okay, let's come back down to earth here and figure out how we can maybe meet in the middle there. What are you doing today? What's not working? Know your goals, though. Don't go to someone and set high standards for them and say, hey, this is what we want. We're paying you a lot of money. No one's going to end. That's going to be a bad relationship. It's going to end poorly. Just come and say, here's our goals. Tell us if we're not realistic, and then have them be honest with you. And lastly, do not try to match your competitors. Use them for inspiration, if anything, but don't think because they're doing something that you want to mimic them, and so you're going to do what they're doing in both sales, revenue, growth. You're not them, they're not you. So be unique, but at the same time, look at what they might be doing well and how you can maybe do better than that to a certain functionality. They have a better search, a better loyalty program. They have a better user experience. But don't say, well, ABC company is doing $2 million a year and we're only doing $500,000. Like, how do we become them? That's not the right way to look at it. So now that you kind of have an idea of everything that you should think about when building a proposal out, kind of what's next? What do you do here? Map your goals to your budget. So set those goals on out and say, okay, well, I want to increase sales. I want to increase average order value. I want to start cheap. I want to build the cheapest site that I can get that has a better user experience, and then I want to optimize it. Like, just know your goals and have an open conversation with me about how you can probably do that. There's so many ways to build a website. You can hand over your fortune to an agency and say, build me a site. They're going to probably do a great job. You can find a group of interns that are going to do close to the same thing, not put as much thought into it. They'll get you there over time. Just know what your goals are, know your budget. So once you understand that, send me this list of requirements. Let me take a look at it before you send it out to an agency. I'm not going to charge an arm and a leg. That's not the goal here. I've just done so many of these that I want to make sure that merchants and retailers are prepared. So, I'll do a once over and say, yep, ask these questions as well. Do this, do this. The goal here is to make sure everyone's happy. You guys make money, I make money, agencies make money, partners make money, everyone makes money. That's the goal. So once we understand that, then we can select a platform. That's going to be one of my next videos is selecting that right platform for you. From there, we're going to have an RFP, we're going to have our requirements, we're going to have our platform. Now we can go start and find our partners. Whether it's an agency, whether it's some contractors, some other miscellaneous people that we know in the industry, whatever that is, we can start mapping. We have your plan, what your budget is, we have the platform, so we can narrow that down, and we know how to really interact. Okay, well, we need research, we need design, we need this type of functionality. Those are all things, and keep in mind, like, the other part of this is that you want to know, hey, what should we be doing? So I'm not saying know everything and be an expert at it, but come prepared with as much as you possibly can, and I'll help make the recommendations from there to say, okay, well, I would take this one step further because you do have that budget. Let's maybe look at this. We want to get to a point where you can start driving in these changes to the site and optimize the site based on actual data, where it's results driven. And that's really what I want to get to. We'll talk about those in the later episodes. But that's it. So focus on what your goals are, your budget, what are your exact requirements. Come prepared to have that discussion, and then we'll select a platform with you, and we'll map some partners on how to build this on out. So follow us, click the subscribe button on here, and I really want to kind of help grow this business for you guys much more. So ask me questions. I'm here as a resource. I'm not looking to rob you guys of all your money. I want to help. So reach out, give me a call. Shoot me an email, write me a description, or write in the description below. But I'd love to see your requirements for your next build before you submit those off. I want to make sure that it's effective. You guys have the right strategy and ask the right questions. But feel free to check out our website, Commerce Wisely, some of the work that we've done in the past, some of our focuses. And of course, thanks for watching.